So recently I've been playing this season's newest ranked mode, Orf. And I know it's a little controversial, Embark switching from the main game mode cash out to a game mode like Orf. But I think Orf actually has some potential, and in this video I'm going to show you some advanced macro strategies for Orf. Being an Orf expert myself, I'm currently I'm not really sure actually. Let me check what rank I am. Being top 5 on the Orf leaderboard, I think I know what I'm doing. But if you're not familiar with Orf or don't really know what Orf is, so basically the developers added a cosmetic a while ago, which is a Orf backpack. And basically it's a backpack that shows a game being played where you can move a cat around on the screen and eat pizzas. And when you eat the pizza, you get a higher score. And then basically it's just sort of like an endless sort of game where you try to get the highest score without losing all of your lives. There's definitely some strategy to it. For example, the type of clothes you wear can sort of affect your gameplay. Personally, I think the best strategy is you gotta wear some dark clothes, nothing too bright, nothing bright like green or something. And I feel like it's a little bit too distracting when you're playing, and you need as much focus as you can. And things like pets or something that move while you're playing, not very good. So you should probably take those off as well. You got to keep track of the moving cat, you know. You can't be paying attention to other stuff off the screen. But there is some like actual things that really affect your gameplay, such as like playing the backpack on a heavy or playing the backpack on a medium or light. Personally, I like playing on the heavy because the screen is bigger on the backpack. I can see the pixels more clearly than on the other builds. I think the main downside of the heavy backpack is like when the heavy moves around from time to time, just from like shifting around, it's sort of like an earthquake, which is not very helpful. But I think that is just the drawback of heavy. But like medium is sort of like the middle ground, is like you sort of have a medium-sized backpack with not as much moving on the character, with light being sort of like the smallest screen, the least amount of moving. I think probably the best build to play Orf on is probably medium, because it's hard to explain, but like when you're playing the backpack on the light, there's sort of a glare on the screen. I'm not sure why, but like when you're playing on heavy, it's hard to not get a shadow on the screen, but also have good clarity of the backpack. But on medium, it sort of feels like you can sort of position the backpack in a way where you can see the whole screen, while also having it all shaded or all light, while also there's not that much turbulence. So now that you know the loadout for Orf, let's sort of get down to the actual strategies in the game. And being a top 5 Orf player, it's tough. It's tough because compared to Cash Out, this game requires a lot more sustained focus. And what I mean by sustained focus is like you need to be locked in for long periods of time. The amount of locked inness that you need to be is sort of lower, but like you still need to be locked in for like a long period of time. So if you have TikTok brain, it might be over for you. It's over for you, bro. Like we're gonna need to train that attention up a little bit for a longer period of time. To get my top 5 run, it took me about 15 minutes to get there. I'm not even number 1, which is at 6,000 something, held by Sean Goodwin. I could only assume that his run probably took like an hour just to get done compared to my measly 1,800 score. You got to be locked in, all right? You got to be locked in for a long time. If you don't know, Orf sort of starts off slow for like the first 80 pizzas, and then it just immediately shifts really fast to the end game, and then after that it's just the same speed after 80 pizzas basically. The main obstacle you're going to be going against, or like I guess the enemy team you're going against, is the big bombs. And the big bombs always come like every 10th item that falls. And I think one of the biggest strategies you can implement is sort of keeping your cat in the middle of the screen. That gives you the most flexibility and the ways you can play around the obstacles or around the big bombs. You want to get as many of the slimy slices as possible. So putting in the middle allows you to go left or right whenever a bomb sort of comes down towards you. Deciding what side to go on is a little bit more complicated. Like if the bomb is on sort of the middle right of your screen, you're going to want to try and go to the left where there's more area of the screen available to you and less area of the screen cut off from you whenever the bomb drops. Like say if the bomb drops middle right, and next pizza spawns on the right. So if you go left, it also cuts down on the amount of space you need to get to the right side, if you know what I mean. Like because there's less space on the right, there's more space on the left for you to go to the right. I don't know, I feel like it's a really difficult way to explain it. Always the best play is go to the side with more space on it, because it's just the best in between for any scenario. Or if you're going to be playing ranked for a long time, you're going to need to make sure you have some ways to sort of keep you focused. And then one of the things I like to do is like play music while I play. And I feel like that sort of, it's like a double-edged sword, sort of like it lowers your focus, but at the same time keeps your focus up. Because I feel like if you're high orphan it up, you're going to need as much focus as you can get. But like sort of like you need to sort of like limit your focus a little bit too, so it's easier to focus. And sort of the song choice, like what song should I play when I play the game? I feel like the best results I got were sort of like playing one song but like on repeat or like on a loop. I feel like that's sort of the main. It's like stimulating, but it's like not overstimulating where you have to pay attention to the new song that's playing. It's like sort of like your brain already sort of like accepted it. Like if you're playing one song, it's like you already see it, like you already know what's going to happen sound wise, but like it's also like interesting to still hear. So I think it's the right amount of like attention stimulating, but also the right amount of distraction that also keeps you going. But I do feel like whenever you end a run or anything like that, like maybe change the song that's on loop to a different song, just to spice it up a little bit and keep it engaging, or the right level of engagement that you need to sort of get to that end game level. And like another thing is like, since it's like a one-handed game, there's a lot of things you can do with your other hand. Probably the best strategy for that is sort of like keeping your other hand in a more relaxed position. Like I think the important thing is like making sure you're in a setup or a position that's comfortable to be in a long time. Like if you balled up your other hand, I feel like that's a little bit distracting. It's like you're putting too much focus and balling up your hand. So I like to do is like I like to keep my hand on the table, just like sort of flattish, and it's just like doing nothing, so I can focus all my attention on my gaming hand. But you can also do other things with your hand. I'm not sure what else you would be doing with your other hand, but I think sort of limiting the sort of sensory information you're getting from your other hand is probably the best move, so you can focus most on your gameplay. There are also times where you could get griefed out by one of the teams in the game. One of the teams I really struggle against is like the big bombs. And I think it's important to know is like the hitboxes in this game is sort of like, it's sort of, I don't know, it's pretty lenient, but there are times where like a big bomb will sort of spawn and then like the pizza will spawn in the corner, and then those are like the hardest ones. And like the really hard ones are where like slimy slices spawn, and like the spawns in this game are a little bit messed up. Sometimes the like a slimy slice is going to be on the left side, and then a slimy slice is going to spawn on the right side. So you have to go all the way to the left and all the way to the right, which can be a little bit difficult. But I think my suggestion or strategy to sort of counteract that is like kind of just focus on the bread part. Like we all want to get the bread, right? Focus on the bread part. That's sort of where the hitbox is in this game. But yeah, just sort of watch out for these other teams in the game. They could grief you out. But I think one thing to sort of stay in the game for a long time is like this sort of mindset you have at the start of the game. So when the slimy slices start coming in like slowly at the start, I sort of act like I'm a bot, or like I play like a default, and I just like slowly move towards the pizzas like I'm not sure what I'm doing. And I feel like that just gives me sort of like the underdog mindset. It's like look at me, I'm not that good at the game. But then like when the game starts ramping up, I start going crazy. I start pressing A and D, or like going left and right really quickly. Like I'm super fast. And I think that really helps me in sort of making like giving myself sort of like this main character mentality that will help me, I guess, sort of keep me on my toes in the end game. Whenever you feel like you're sort of drifting off in focus, is like do some unnecessary things like just spam AD for no reason, or like keep your hands engaged so that your mind can also be engaged, if you know what I mean. Yeah. At the end of the day, some of the gameplay aspects become RNG. Like you get third party by the slicey slices or maybe the big bombs. Don't take it too seriously. Like things happen. You might get like slicey slices on the edges that just feel impossible to get to, and that's just how the game is. And one of the biggest things too is like because you have 3 lives, I feel like it's really easy to get discouraged when you start losing a life. It's like you lost a life. Oh man, I lost a life on score 100. It's over. This run is over. And sometimes you just want to quit, right? But in my top 5 run, I was on 1 life for like 1,000 score. So I feel like I sort of have to say like, don't give up. Don't give up. I think that's just easy. Like even in cash out, it's like, don't give up, bro. There's always a chance for you to win, a chance to come back. And I think that's what makes the game very special. But yeah, that sort of concludes my advanced macro strategies for Orf. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. I think my next video we're going to be posting is the new goo ship. Hopefully see you guys in that video. I'll see you guys later. Thank you. Bye bye.